Hey, my name's Niku,
And I'm Ashley.
and you can find me at Niku Klobachista on Instagram or TikTok.
And you can find me at Universe in You on Instagram and TikTok.
Word up. Also, so welcome to Lunation Manifestation. You can find us on our podcast as well as on our YouTube, just Lunation Manifestation. Today we're going to talk about the full moon in Leo. It is on Thursday, the 28th of January at 2:14 in the p.m. Yep, in the p.m. Eastern time. So I mean, it's just this energy right here. It's like burst of energy and playful energy. So it's like definitely play up to that. What you'll want to do is apply your creative energy to making art, music, or whatever your go-to craft is. I know that we're dealing with the global pandemic, so if you can safely, either virtually or like with your roommates, throw a little party, have a little bit of fun, or even just dance on your own. Ultimately, it's a good time for brainstorming creative ways to express your vision for the future. So it's bright and proud, but don't be too proud. Maybe ask yourself, like, am I being too self-centered? You know, that Leo energy. Woo, I'm about to get some flack for that.
You know it's good.
um, I'm about to get attacked. But also, like, how have you been treating the people around you? Are you being a little arrogant, vain, pushy, a little pompous? Have you been creative enough? Um, or maybe you're not showing yourself enough love. The thing with full moon, the moon is 180 degrees away from the sun, which means it's on opposite side. It's like on the opposite side of the earth from the sun. With the sun being in Aquarius and the moon being in Leo, which are opposite signs and their opposing energies, you'll feel a pull and push between self focus and your focus on humanity. So like Leo is the sign of ruling others. It's the sign of like creative energy, family, and then Aquarius is like the collective. It's focusing your energy on more humanitarian efforts in the future. You'll
Yes.
want to try to find a balance between what your needs are and those of your friends, those of your circles around you. But like with all full moons, it's a good time to let go. So you want to perform some sort of forgiveness ceremony, let go of issues that you have, especially regarding these like topics, these energies. um the thing with the full, which I'm sorry, the new moon, which we've already posted our first video, and the new moon, I'm sorry, the new moon and then followed by the full moon, is that in the new moon you it's a good time to set intentions because the moon is conjunct the sun. Basically that just means that they're in the same space in the sky, where whatever energy, it was just in Capricorn, and so the energy was really conducive to Capricorn energies. It's not like you're being pulled in two directions during a new moon. You're able to apply yourself in a better way because it's just smooth, it's easy going. But as the moon starts to get full, and that's when you'll start to notice some stress is coming up. Whatever intentions you've set, you'll realize, oh, um I'm having trouble with this thing that came up. I didn't consider it when I set my intention, or I didn't consider that it would be this stressful. And during the full moon, it's a good time to reevaluate. Is this really what you want? Or if it is, what can you do to let go of some other stuff so that your focus can like be more, so that you can have more of your focus on whatever your intention is? Or do you have to pivot? Like, do you have to not completely cancel out what your intention was, but maybe pivot what you thought it could be and start working from there? That's what's really nice about the full moon. Yeah, it could be stressful. Yeah, it could be intense energy, but what comes up is a good learning curve for whatever it is that you want to grow in.
Right. So it gives us that opportunity for reflection. And it's a great time for, like you said, to kind of ask yourself what is not serving me, right? So,
Mhm.
what behavior should we be banishing? What holds you back? And, what are you insecure about? And what kind of toxic traits maybe that you're holding on to that, now's a great time to really reflect and be aware of that so you can work towards letting it go, right?
Yeah. The thing that's nice about the moon cycles is that, excuse me, moon energy is cyclical, right? Essentially we just kind of keep passing through the same houses, you know, within our own particular birth charts. You know, you pass through the same houses, which is like an area or a focus of your life. So each month you have an opportunity to reset and try to be better at it. So if you do follow the moon cycles, and you're intentional about it, you will cultivate a improvement within your life, cultivate improvement within a specific area, especially if you tune it into, if you focus on it through your house systems. The reason I say that is because, like, you know, during a new moon, a lot of people think, oh, let's set our intentions, and you just set a ton of intentions that are all scattered. It's hard to really focus on, it's really hard to focus on so many different things when really, you know, I know that each moon, each new moon, or each full moon, it does have specific energies about it, and it might be a couple of different energies, but it's all within the same house, so it all kind of works within that scope. But if you're like, I want to make more money, plus I want to have romance, plus I want to have this, or, you know, I want to let go of this guy, plus I want to figure out how I can be better about money, these are different areas of your life, these are different aspects of your life. So I'm not saying you can't do it all, but what I'm saying is when you take time to be more focused on what house is being highlighted during a particular moon cycle, you'll have a better chance of really just applying yourself, right? The moon cycles are about 28, 29 days, which is just a little bit more time than like what is suggested for like making or breaking a habit, which is like what, 21 days. So in 21 days you make the habit, and then throughout that last week or so you really you know, can like, you'll end up being in like a, you'll create the habit, but you'll really be on the ball when it comes to it being a part of your daily routine. So when it comes to the full moons, right? Let's go back to full moon. We've been talking about new a little bit. We're focusing on the Leo full moon. Um, you'll want to let go of grudges you have with people that maybe you feel like you're in competition with, or that maybe have had competition with you. Maybe you want to air out some feelings of jealousy that you've had either in the past or presently. There's no limit to like how you want to approach this lion in energy, but it's really good time to like start thinking about the things. You know, are you resentful or envious of other people who take up, like, who are naturally charismatic, or um are you just really timid and, you know, you shy, but, you know, you pull back because you're shy and you stand in the corner? Maybe these are the things where you want to be like, oh, you know what, I do, maybe being out in the light, in the limelight, could be somewhat beneficial. So now is a good time to start considering, like, how can you let go of your shyness? How can you let go of feeling timid? If, of course, that's an area that you want to work
Right.
on.
So you're thinking and acting in terms of a Leo, right?
Hmm.
For this particular stance. And can you, since you're the astrology expert here, can you explain a little bit more about Leos for those who don't know of what kind of energy they have?
Sure. So whether a Leo is like in a very outgoing one or a more like introverted one, you always can kind of tell a Leo. They usually have really amazing hair, whether it's full or like a super cool haircut or color. Or they have like a Leo placement typically. That'll emphasize that. But personality wise, they don't excuse me, they don't have any trouble attracting attention, whether it's through action or just through their presence. There's something that they have, like a very strong air of confidence about them, just outwardly present. They command and fill a room. They are the, you know, they charge up in I mean, this is a very generalized, you know, everybody's charts are full of many different signs and um aspects. So you know, like when I'm saying Leo, I'm just talking about the stereotypical very generalized Leo. They're outgoing, they charge up in a crowd, they love to talk, and a lot of times they definitely love to talk about themselves, but they are the rulers of the roost. You'll find them leading people. They are very fixed energy, which means that they're very set in their ways. good luck trying to change a Leo's mind. What their mind is set on is how they are for a very long time. With any fixed sign, same thing with Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The fixed signs are fixed in their ways, and it's really hard to like get them out of whatever their belief system is. Um, and because it is the axis of Aquarius and Leo that we're focusing on right now, maybe a thing that you want to figure, maybe a thing that you want to work on for yourself is uh how rigid you are, how unbending you could be. And I'm not saying if you're Leo, I'm just saying if your personality is a little bit rigid, maybe now is the time to like try to figure out how you can be a little bit more flexible. Alternatively, maybe you have too much flexibility and you want to be a little bit more rigid or more grounded in your approach or in your beliefs or in your stance on things, and now is a good time to be like, okay, I don't have enough rigidity, I'm not stubborn enough, or because stubborn sounds like a negative word, but sometimes standing your ground is like a really important part of a person's personality, especially like in situations where others might try to take advantage of you or manipulate you. Like, I don't know any Leos who will be like, no, thank you, right away if somebody tries to like, or even an Aquarius, for instance, if somebody tries to like, if they feel like, you're trying to take advantage of them. I feel like the fixed signs have a very strong sense of self and will have no problem letting people know exactly who they are and what they stand for.
Right. So it's almost like we should be finding a balance between the different Leo and Aquarius kind of energy and reflecting on, the extremities of each sign and trying to find out where we can balance out each of different areas.
For
That makes
sure. Yeah, no, for sure. What are some tips that you have as a mindset coach for a person who maybe wants to take some of the energies of this axis, this full moon, Aquarius Leo axis energy, and apply it to themselves in like a real world way, right? So astrology for some people might feel a little woo woo, like what does that actually mean? But like if somebody wanted to, like if somebody listening to this who's not like necessarily into astrology or moon cycles or whatnot, but just wants to improve, like lands on this video and just wants to improve, some of those energies, some of those qualities, like we mentioned, being too rigid or not rigid enough, being too self-focused rather than, or vice versa, right? Either being too self-focused or not focused enough on self, with the opposite of that being too focused on other people and humanities or not focused enough on in those areas. Like what are some of the things that you would recommend? What are some of the tips or anything that what is your input on that?
Well, like we said, this is a great time for reflection and trying to figure out what's working for us and what's not working. One of the best things that you can do for yourself every day is to journal.
Hmm.
So when you're journaling about stuff, you literally ask yourself questions that you're looking for, right? So for example, when you're journaling, you can ask yourself, what sort of things are you putting your energy and time into, and what's not working for you? So if you are struggling with time management, even something like that, what areas of your life are you focusing on that aren't getting you anywhere in your future and towards your goals, right? So, am I spending too much time negatively thinking, or even if it's just spending too much time mindlessly scrolling on your phone on social media, stuff like that, what kind of habits are you building and focusing on? Also, like in terms of, self-love and self-worth, like are you holding on to any feelings of unworthiness, or what's holding you back? You want to kind of tap into that confidence of the Leo and, you know, just shine as bright as they do, right? Because is that the nature of that? They're ruled by the sun. Is that true?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Leo's ruling planet is the sun. So just like the sun, they're the center of our galaxy. No, they're not.
And they're
So just like the sun, they're the center of our solar system. They're the source of our light, our heat, our warmth. So a lot of times they feel like, we're all planets revolving around them as the sun.
bow down. Well, Team Aquarius over here.
Mhm.
You know,
Aquarius.
definitely a interesting dynamic between the two
Her
sides.
birthday.
What?
It's almost her birthday.
Almost. I'm almost 21. Why are you laughing?
I'm channeling
Oh,
my inner Mariah to sing happy birthday
thank you.
to you.
33, okay?
33. Some other Leo energy is about kids, romance, creativity, self-expression, having a little bit of fun, like putting some fun into the mix if you've been a little too serious about things.
Can I just say that everybody should have a creative hobby that they have?
Oh,
I always ask
no,
my clients, like, if they have any hobbies, and there are a lot of hobbies that are, great, but it's the creative ones that where you really like put yourself into a zone and lose yourself, and actually create something that is just
sure.
so therapeutic, like mind and soul.
I agree with you. I don't think that you have to be an artist to be creative. I think that every human should have some sort of creative outlet. It just helps, like, just to reiterate, to like piggyback off what you're saying, is it definitely is like a nice way to decompress. It's also really nice to do something that might just be a passion project, or even just something that you enjoy, something as simple as, I don't know, crocheting, or reading, or anything that really can stir your imagination, anything that can make you feel creative, because I think that we are creative beings. And so, especially if we're not in a role, in some sort of career role that allows us to be creative, then I think that we especially need to put some time into being to creating in any way. And it doesn't have to just be art. Like, creation can be in achieving a lifestyle of fitness, for instance, if that's what you want, of just like refinement, especially because the moon is all about refining different energies within your chart. You might feel like some sort of like pull or push between, like I said before, what your friends' needs are and what your own needs are, or your self-expression versus like a focus on maybe career or something.
Maybe
um
it could be like friends and also family or other people that you're just associated with in general, right?
For sure. Or like you might feel like a little bit push and pull between like your family, you and your children if you have any, or and then also trying to put your energy into your creative projects or your work projects. It might be like you're putting too much energy in one or the other. So try to find a balance. Full moons are all about trying to find the balance and like bringing the two polar energies, the two polar opposite energies, like more into the middle ground.
And like you said, even though it stirs up like some chaotic energy, like it's really great to have that opportunity to stop and catch your breath and focus and just recenter yourself and find that balance and ask, all right, what do we have to do to fix things in order to move forward, right?
For sure. And it's full moon is like such a good time for like letting go and forgiveness. Let go or forgive yourself for being too hard on your family, your children, too hard on yourself, too hard on your employees. Any sort of relationship where you feel like you're either being the dominant one or you're being the person who's being dominated. Forgive yourself for either uh pushing some of your negative emotions on others, or forgive those others who are pushing that negative emotion on you. When you let go of, sometimes we get into these addictive thoughts where we're like, job's miserable, I can't stand this, I wish I had more me time, I wish, or maybe, I wish I could apply myself more into like some sort of charity, I wish I could be more selfless. Forgive yourself in those moments and be like, you know what, I am where I am, but I can work towards that now. And when you let go of thoughts that are toxic in your mind, when you let that go and you train yourself to be like, oh, let me get rid of it, you end up having more stillness within yourself to actually apply yourself go back to the new moon, to apply yourself to those intentions that you set the 2 weeks before in that new moon, so that instead of just being distracted by all these different things that keep attacking your mind, like, oh, I didn't do this, or I have to run off to do that, I have to do this. Let it all go.
Mhm.
Free yourself a little bit, free your mind up, and then you'll be more still and be able to really focus on those things that you had an intention to change about yourself in the first place.
Right. And the awareness of knowing what you do need to change and let go and forgive yourself for is really the biggest step, and some people just never take the time to reflect on that. And if they don't and they don't let go, then the stuff just continues to repress and build up, emotional issues and clutter within the mind. So,
Another thing that the full moon is good for is also to have some sort of like gratitude ritual as well. So on top of a forgiveness ritual, you want a gratitude ritual, because once you clear that energy, you want to fill it in with good feeling things. So then whatever your gratitude ritual is, or Google one if you don't have one, just like fill yourself up, fill your cup back up after pouring all that energy out. Fill it back up with good feeling stuff. Um, I find that when I do that, it it lights an energy within me that's like, oh yeah, you know what, Niku, you are good enough, or Niku, you did do good enough this last week. Or sometimes we have doubts within ourselves, and with the moon's energy getting stronger, we tend to feel a little bit more fatigued and worn out. We feel a little pulled. We feel just kind of like burnt out after it starts getting full. And so then when you first off remove some of that negativity, but then fill it up with like, actually, I did apply myself. I did put in this energy. I did the best that I could each of these days as I move forward, whatever my best is for that day, you know?
it's a great perspective to have there for sure. One easy way that you can practice your gratitude is by writing a simple gratitude list. And as you write, you could literally just do stuff like, I am grateful for this, that. And you can make it as long as you'd like, but what's important is that you go back and read it again. And as you read it, you really focus in and kind of create the energy and feelings and emotion and vibrations associated with what you're grateful for, right?
For sure.
That's key, because getting yourself into that mindset is what attracts more of that stuff to be grateful for.
I agree with you. And I think as humans, we're feeling beings, right? We literally have emotions to feel our way through life. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's about like what you
Feel it
want.
to heal it.
Say it again.
Feel it to heal it.
Feel it oh yeah, especially like when you're trying to heal stuff, like just let it go, because again, we are feeling beings, right? So we want to feel all the things that we feel. We don't want to repress any of the things that we feel, because then we end up putting up walls for all the feelings. So you push back negativity, you push back like feeling sad, you push back feeling angry, you end up feeling less and less emotions when it comes to feeling happiness also, right? Feel less excitement, because you're just like smothered. When you smother parts of your emotion, you're smothering all of your emotion. That's what you're training yourself to do. That's my personal experience of like being like, only positive feelings, and it's just like, okay, well, now I'm smothering all my other feelings, and that positive wasn't that strong anymore. So it's just like
Yeah.
feel the things that you feel as you're going through them. But to like further emphasize what Ashley was saying, about not just like writing goals down, not just like having a vision for yourself, but also feeling it. Because ultimately, when we achieve those things that we want, right? When we get to those moments, it's not that we're like seeing it like that. Just it's not that we're just having it. We're gonna have an emotional reaction to it. So what would your emotional reaction to having a lot of money be, or your emotional reaction to being more balanced, or like whatever your goal is, right? What do you want your emotional reaction to be, and be more attached to that than to the final outcome. Because
Mhm.
I find that when I attach myself more to the feeling versus the like actual outcome, I'm always pleasantly surprised about what comes up anyway. I'm like, oh, this is not how I imagined it, but this is how I thought I would feel, and I am feeling that way.
You have
Uh,
to pretend like it's already there, right?
for sure. So I'm really curious what you think about this video. Also, what are some of your rituals, whether they're gratitude or forgiveness rituals or full moon rituals? I'm curious to hear about them in our comments below.
Also, please let us know if you have any other questions or anything else that you would like us to talk about and cover. We will be doing a bonus episode for the Mercury retrograde and talking about all that, which will be starting on this coming Saturday.
Uh-huh. January 30th through February 20th. Woohoo! And the shadow period already started. It came in on the 15th of January, ends on the 13th of March. Brace yourselves.
Yay!
Breathe. Thanks for joining us this week on Lunation Manifestation. Don't forget to catch our bonus episode this Saturday. And even if we don't see you there, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Goodbye. Thank you, everybody.